We are live. Let's go.
Okay, just let me recheck one more time. And yeah, I did. Um, okay, so hey everyone, and happy Bitcoin Day. Yeah, this is super great day today. Day we honor this brave soul who spent 10,000 BTC on two pizzas and who brings the value to the Bitcoin and probably the whole crypto community. Yeah, and make it like extra spicy. Also, Bitcoin just decided to hit the all-time high, so I believe like we are getting somewhere near closer to the sun. So be careful, guys. Be careful out there who's trading. It's still like financial triumph for like crypto degens. Yeah, but all in all, today we are not just here for crypto history or like pepperoni flashbacks. We are here to talk about something that's sorry. We are here to talk about something that's making waves right now in the Web3 dev lab. It's Neon EVM. So imagine an EVM dev who wants like Solana speed and fees, right? But without writing everything or like praying to the to the blockchain gas for it to work on Solana, right? So that's exactly how Neon EVM does, and it's like for simple minds that likes science fiction, it's like a teleportation device for Solidity contracts straight into the Solana ecosystem, and I think it's beautiful. Yeah. So, and who better to grind and tell us more about this than someone who lives and breathes within the Neon? It's Julia, DevRel at Neon
Hey.
EVM, a serial like the Whisperer, and your migration Sherpa. So she is here to tell us about why EVM devs are ditching gas fees and moving to Solana, how to avoid the pitfalls, basically of migration, and the trends, what trends are shaping in Solana right now. So buckle up, guys. Take your pizza, take your Coke, and please give a warm welcome to our awesome guest, Jules from Neon EVM. Jules, the floor is yours, and welcome. Welcome to the
Whoop,
stage.
whoop. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited to talk to you guys. I've been hearing a lot about you, and we actually have some applicants from Kumeka Super Team. I'm sorry,
Oh, wow.
in the Neon Dev Bootcamp. So thanks a lot for amplifying the bootcamp, and it actually turned out that Solana developers are also interested. Um,
That's great,
so
and we should also talk about this. Like this is super interesting topic, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but let's start with the first thing. I'd like to tell you about how Neon EVM onboards developers to Solana and how its tech and educational activities put Neon EVM in its unique position that can make the move from one ecosystem to another as easy as possible for the EVM developers. And I'd like to start with a question that I'd like you to reflect upon during my talk. Please, next slide. Question. What's what's the best bear, right? What's the hardest thing about transitioning from one state, any state of things, to another? And while I'm talking, please reflect on this so that you can understand why we are doing things at Neon EVM and at Neon EVM Bootcamp the way we do them, because we are thinking about this question: how to transition from one state to another and how to make it as easy as possible. You might remember, for example, how you moved to another country and how you tried to solve these mundane tasks that you are used to in your familiar country in a very different way. Like, for example, going to a post office and sending a letter. How the heck does one do this in this country? So What we are going to talk about here is basically simple tasks that you are familiar with in the EVM ecosystem, now suddenly going wrong, suddenly having all these different specifics and different like particulars that you need to know about in advance to prepare yourself. And I think this approach to dividing these complex new tasks and learning new things is easier and more effective when you have a frame of reference. So something to help you build not from scratch, but from some kind of foundation. So when we are thinking about onboarding devs from Ethereum to Solana, I think that Neon is in this unique position to do so because it allows them to build on top of this foundation the knowledge and skills they already have, like Solidity and all the typical EVM frameworks like Hot Hat, Foundry, and incorporate this knowledge into the new frameworks. So later I'll show you what I mean by saying that Neon's tech makes exactly this kind of onboarding possible. Now the next slide. But first, let me briefly show you some statistics which you might be familiar with, and these statistics demonstrate why onboarding Ethereum developers to Solana actually matters. You've probably heard that Solana has seen substantial developer growth in 2024, attracting more than 7,000 new developers, which was more than Ethereum for the first time since 2016. This obviously indicates strong momentum and increasing adoption among the community. And although Ethereum retains the largest total developer base, Solana's growth does indicate an essential market shift, which is also seen in this monthly dynamic of a steady increase in the numbers of Solana developers and the decrease in EVM developers that you can see in this table. Next slide, please. So you also know that obviously Ethereum and Solana both have their benefits, and Andrew has already mentioned in the beginning why developers come to Solana. They want to have lower gas fees, they want to have parallel execution, so which means speed, and also some a great state and consensus mechanism without additional validators. Which are also all great on Solana. And these are the main things that developers come to Solana for. But still, Ethereum also has a lot of benefits for especially EVM developers who already spent some time in it. Like, obviously, they don't need to learn a new ecosystem and no code changes required. Everything is familiar, everything is clear. There is Ethereum RPC compatibility, and we all know the Ethereum account signatures, token standards, and basically for the EVM developers, it's just a matter of knowing how to do things, but wanting to get cheaper and faster transactions. Next slide, please. Now, what should these developers who want to make this transition expect when they start approaching Solana? Basically, what can go wrong? And, well, everything will go wrong, but let's pinpoint at least some of the points. So there are a lot of architectural differences you should be aware of at the start, and there are going to be more as you move along, but at least these are the ones that you should know when you enter Solana environment. And first, it's the account management. Unlike Ethereum's global state, Solana requires explicit external account management, and there are different types of accounts. Some are only for data storage, some have executable code, which means they're programs, and on Ethereum we call them smart contracts, so on Solana we call them programs. that's okay too. And every piece of data or balance must reside in a clearly defined account. So there are a lot of things about account management that are different on Solana as compared to Ethereum. Then the Solana has this instruction-based model, which means that Solana uses these discrete instructions instead of Ethereum's intuitive function calls. Well, intuitive for EVM developers, but we are talking about them. And instead of calling contract functions directly, developers must construct precise instruction sequences that explicitly state all operations, which is kind of a pain for EVM developers who are used to writing a function. Then there are such things as, for example, program-derived accounts, which you have to explicitly initialize and manage, and also rent-exempt accounts, which you have to think about. Then there are compute limits. There is a 64 account limit that you have to think about when you build complex dApps so that they don't break. And also, speaking about complexity, complex transaction flows that you have to take into account. And for example, when you have a dApp that involves first a swap and then, for example, staking, you need to generate separate instructions for first one and then the other. Then there is explicit signer management. Ethereum's automatic message sender isn't available, and you must specify which account is going to be a signer account. Then state access, basically you have to declare writable states, writable accounts so that they can be accessed. And obviously tooling differences, you won't find Hardhat or Foundry on Solana. And also there are some token transfers complexities, and they are also linked to this account management problem, account management difference that we talked about a bit earlier. And next slide, please. Now to the good part. Now that we've walked through the things that are different, let's see how Neon EVM helps in these cases and how it can solve these differences. Well, first of all, let's see what Neon EVM is. It's a Solana network extension, basically a Solana program, not an L2, and not a bridge. It's a Solana network extension which executes EVM bytecode within the Solana runtime. It has a proxy that translates Ethereum's EVM logic into transactions compatible with Solana's constraints and abstract away the complexity of all these Solana specifics we just saw a slide ago. And what I love most personally about Neon EVM is its composability feature, which consists of libraries and precompiled contracts created specifically by Neon EVM to simplify these interactions between Solana-specific logic and Ethereum contracts written in Solidity. And we are going to go into detail on these libraries and precompiles a bit later. But I want to say here that for EVM developers, all this means that they are staying in their comfort zone, creating dApps in their familiar frameworks, environments, and tools, writing code in Solidity or Viper, using Hardhat and Foundry. But at the same time, they are interacting with Solana native and custom programs without rewriting anything in Rust or learning a lot about Solana. Well, they still need to learn a bit, but not a lot. A lot of complexities are abstracted away by the precompiles and composability libraries. The next slide, please. And now let's talk about this composability feature, which I love so much. Behind the scenes of Neon EVM, there is this composability feature, which consists of composability libraries and precompiled contracts, which allows Neon EVM to extend Ethereum development paradigm into Solana's execution environment. So it makes cross-chain interaction seamless for the developers. and basically makes it very easy. And this mechanism, this composability mechanism, allows Ethereum smart contracts to invoke and integrate with Solana programs and provides them with a direct access to Solana functionality. And these are the things that you see on the screen. These are primary features of Neon's composability. Basically what it does, it allows direct cross-chain calls, which means that Solidity contracts within Neon EVM can invoke Solana program instructions to perform different operations. Then composability ensures atomic transactions so that they are executed either completely or reverted entirely to maintain blockchain integrity. Then also composability mechanism internally manages scenarios involving complex or multi-phase transaction flows. As I've mentioned before, some of the dApps require multi-phase transaction flows where you first do, for example, a swap and then a staking operation. And the state management thing accommodates Solana's transaction size and compute unit constraints to manage these multi-phase scenarios. Then composability feature has a very good token interoperability mechanism with the ERC24 SPL interface. It serves as an Ethereum-compatible abstraction for managing SPL tokens. And unlike traditional Ethereum token standards, ERC24 SPL doesn't maintain state within Solidity contract storage. Instead, it directly operates on state within Solana's program-derived accounts, PDAs, and associated token accounts. So token balances, transfers, approvals are all handled through Solana native account modifications, which helps efficiency and consistency across these platforms. And also, composability mechanism generates Solana-specific instructions transparently from Solidity code with the help of these composability libraries. So again, it consists of libraries and precompiled contracts, and now we'll have a look at the libraries first. Please, the next slide. So there are three main composability libraries created by Neon EVM to simplify interactions with Solana and abstract away all these complexities. First, the system program library, the SPL token library, and the Radium library. Solana developers will know that these are not random names. They are all named after the appropriate Solana programs, because they help our Solidity contracts to interact with those Solana programs and invoke and integrate those that logic. So all these libraries consist of these things, the instruction helpers that format and manage Solana instructions, then the getters that retrieve data from Solana accounts so that you can read them into a front end, for example. Then there are error handling files that give you errors in an EVM-friendly format so that you can debug. Then there are also constants, which basically, well, such as program ID or public keys, just Solana-specific, essential to Solana constants are also in these libraries. And the next slide, please. And you can say that interaction with Solana happens with the help of the libraries through the precompiles. The precompiles, such as this one I call Solana, enable integration with Solana's advanced features and enhance developer experience to access these advanced features. First of all, they allow Solidity contracts to send and receive Solana instructions directly. So this is about this direct calling that we saw before, direct cross-chain calls. And they support a wide range of actions, including SPL token transfers, decentralized exchange swaps, interactions with Solana-based lending platforms, and basically, whenever you generate the instructions, you pass them to pre-compiled contracts, and they send the calls to Solana. The next slide, please. And here is how these instructions are sent from a user through the precompiled contracts through Neon EVM to Solana. Let me just bring it closer so that I can also see it and describe. Okay, so as you can see, Neon EVM users are opening a dApp, for example, a lending dApp, and they click, for example, a button that says, I don't know, first make a swap, and the app sends a call to Neon EVM. Neon EVM has smart contracts deployed on it, which have composability feature, and they construct composability requests with the help of libraries and the iCall-Solana precompile. And then the iCall-Solana precompile executes the call and sends it to the appropriate program on Solana. And both Neon EVM and Solana programs are obviously already on Solana. Now, next slide, please. And this is a slightly more detailed way to describe how libraries and precompiles work together to send this composability request from a caller contract to a precompiled contract, and then, as we've seen before, it goes away into the world, into the Solana program. The next slide, please. Thank you. And after this rather brief, I would say, discussion of the technical side of the onboarding of Solana, of EVM developers to Solana, I'd like to move to an interactive, an educational side of the onboarding process. But actually, an EVM developer, by deploying the contracts on Neon EVM and accessing the composability feature and looking through the libraries and sending the calls, is already kind of onboarded to Solana, because when they deploy an app on Neon EVM and use composability feature, they will go through the libraries to see what exactly is generated there in the instructions and how it's done. So they will see all these accounts creations which are happening within the libraries behind the scenes, and they will already know something about Solana. But as an EVM developer developing an app, a cross-chain app from Solidity contracts, they don't have to know this Solana architectural differences, but I mean, it will help them if they go through the libraries and see what's going on behind the scenes. And basically, the bootcamp is teaching developers do exactly that, figure out what's going on Solana through Neon EVM. So we have this bootcamp as a 10-week learning program that helps developers build cross-chain products by using these composability libraries and precompiles, and also Solana Signer SDK and other features that we have on Neon EVM that help build these cross-chain functionalities. And we've got a great community of hardworking developers who are eager to learn and succeed on this journey. They submit wonderful projects showing a great level of understanding. And I'm just having so much fun talking to them on Discord. They're super creative, super talented. For example, they came up with very interesting use cases for our first project when they deployed an ERC24 SPL token. If you'd like, I'll tell you later about these use cases. But moving on, let's see how we structure the learning journey in our bootcamp to help make this learning journey easier. Next slide, please. So it's a combination of theoretical and practical hands-on tutorials where we start with a couple of practical examples and to just get them building, get hands-on, and start submitting projects. And in the first two tutorials, we don't go very deep into the theoretical stuff, but starting from the third tutorial, we slow down and we start unpacking the libraries, we start unpacking the theoretical differences between Ethereum and Solana, and we talk about account models more and about the token differences and stuff like that. So first we deploy and interact with the ERC24 SPL tokens and make a transfer to Solana from our Ethereum smart contracts. Then we build a practical cross-chain application, a meme coin launchpad, and there we use a Radium library that allows them to build a pool on Radium and make swaps and basically use it as a meme coin launchpad. Then from the third tutorial, we start going into all the instruction generations and all these theoretical differences between Ethereum and Solana. And then we are going to learn about Solana Signer SDK that enhances this cross-chain interoperability even further. We haven't discussed it yet with them. And then they also have an option to combine all of this knowledge into a comprehensive graduation project where they can create a fully operational dApp that is built on Neon EVM and in Solidity, but accesses Solana programs and invokes Solana logic. Next slide. Thank you. So why Neon's bootcamp works? Well, we think it works. It's not finished yet, but so far, looking at the submissions, we think that the level of understanding is really so high that it should work. And we think it works because it provides a clear, guided onboarding path within the familiar Ethereum development environment. And we are building on top of the foundation, not on the hollow ground. So we are starting from the things they know and we build on top of them. Then each lesson combines practical experience with theoretical insights and we try to make these complex concepts more approachable. Also, we are trying to make the curriculum suitable for both beginners and advanced developers by giving them different levels of tasks to submit. So if you're a beginner, you can submit a beginner's task and get the same number of points as you get for an advanced task. If you've done the task well and basically you did all the hard work. And then we are also trying to show real-world applications of the Solana account model and Solana-specific concepts so that they get used to seeing how another ecosystem solves the tasks they are familiar with already. And the next slide, please. I think a good thing is that we are also learning together. When you see how fast others complete the tasks and what kind of questions they ask, first of all, you're not afraid to ask your own questions when you see other people ask different questions. And then you have more motivation to push forward and learn as well as others. So yeah, we encourage everybody to come learn with us. And the next slide, please. So to sum up, let's have another look how Neon EVM removes the friction between Ethereum and Solana and helps with the onboarding. Well, first we saw how Neon EVM reduces this onboarding friction by resolving architectural and logical mismatches between Ethereum and Solana. Then we had a look at how composability feature simplifies cross-chain communication and makes Neon a good pathway for Ethereum developers to expand their capabilities into Solana's ecosystem. And then we had a look at the bootcamp and saw that it has potential to help developers understand and adopt Solana's way of approaching all the similar tasks we have when developing a dApp. The next slide. I thank you so much for your attention. We look forward to welcoming you into Neon EVM community, and I'd love to hear from you anyways. What are you building? What's up? What kind of pizza do you like? Drop a line. So that's it on my side. Thank you so much.
Yeah, guys. So if you have friends or projects that would like to be like transfer to Solana from Ethereum, or people, just join. Just join Neon EVM. Talk to guys. They will give you like the best support they can, so you could transfer probably without any headache on your side, without like praying to blockchain gods, etc., etc. From my side, Jules, if you may, I would ask you a few questions. Um,
Yes, I have questions for you as well. May I start, or would you like to start?
um, yeah, sure. Let's go. Let's. Is it like a technical questions? Because if it is, I'm super not technical person
Oh,
for.
fine.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
just wondering about your developer community. If you saw a lot of EVM devs coming to your developer community, I'm just wondering. I mean, I've shown you the statistics, but I'm curious to know what happens in reality in these small or big super teams where they have Solana dev community. Do you see a lot of EVM devs transferring to your community?
It's hard actually to say because basically we are trying like our approach is to onboard more new startups or new ideas to the Solana. So basically, we didn't take the super team approach to transfer somebody from Ethereum at the moment. I don't think we are like in the like um, we don't have we have big Ethereum community in Ukraine, that's for sure. We didn't go like as spies and say, "Hey, would you like to transfer to Solana?" But with Neon EVM, we could do that. We have like some Ethereum hackathon coming up in June, so we might go there as Neon spies and tell them that there is a simple solution to do that. Yeah, but
Great idea.
yeah. I think so. Yeah, but as of now, yeah, we are more concentrating on the new people, and I think that bootcamp, some guys that participated in your bootcamp are like probably finished ours as well. So I think this is a great thing to have people that can help you and support you in Ukraine for to transfer some projects. On EVM, we will have like some great support on this side. So this is a good sign. Basically, yeah. That's it. So
Okay.
yeah, I won't tell you exact numbers because I don't know them, but I think we can work on this space, to make it a bigger for sure, for sure.
Yeah, we should have brought pizza with us to make this more approachable and like, hey, look, we have pizza.
Yeah. Can't you ask?
Come
We have
build with
pizza.
us.
I'm sure that should work. Like this, is how developers work. That they work for you. Either like promise them a laptop or a pizza, and they like both. It works both ways.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Get
Okay.
impress myself. Okay.
Questions from my side. Like the first one is on the practical side. Could you walk us through like a practical example, or maybe you have like some example on real case projects for on how AVM developers might use one of Neon's composability libraries to interact with native Solana program. And if you have some real case example that, hey, this project, it's shifted from Ethereum to Solana via the Neon, that would be great to hear.
Let me share my screen. Is it okay?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let me just remove this one. Start sharing and I will put it on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of lines of code.
This just one of the examples of
Okay.
yes, of how, for example, a memecoin launchpad program can be made using Neon's composability libraries. So here we have this memecoin launchpad contract, which, as you can see, looks exactly as any Solidity contract. It imports all the libraries that we have here and that we created specifically for composability feature. And using these libraries, like for example, libradium program, this is the Radium program library that is going to build us a liquidity pool on Radium. And basically from this contract, we are going to build a liquidity pool on Radium and lock liquidity in it and make swaps. So basically here, as you can see, we simply import a library into a usual EVM contract. And we also define our ICOL Solana precompile, this precompiled contract, which ensures the direct calls from this contract to a Solana program. So we just have these libraries right at hand. And in these libraries, we are going to create all the Solana specific instructions, which EVM developers aren't usually familiar with or not used to. And these instructions are going to help us create a pool. And as you can see, within these instructions, we have all these account generations, which again is just like rocket science for EVM developers. It's very unfamiliar. But for example, here for pool creation, Solana requires us to create 20 accounts. And this library basically goes ahead and creates these accounts for us. And we don't have to think how to deal with these accounts because this is basically all happening inside the library. And then there is also this thing about which I told you about, that we have to define a signer and tell which accounts are writable. And basically, this is how a library does it for us. And it does all these instructions inside the library. Again, build pool instruction, build data for this pool. Adding liquidity also happens like we have a function, and that's it. Basically everything happens behind the scenes, and from the contract you only need to import these libraries and build a script that is going to deploy that contract. This is, for example, the script to deploy the memecoin launchpad. And here we are going to deploy the memecoin launchpad, do the selling and buying functions. And basically, we are going to reach a funding goal. And when the funding goal is reached, we are going to close the one of those functions. So as you can see, it all looks exactly like any Ethereum project, but it has all these interactions with Solana. Like, for example, here we are getting a balance of Repsol. And when else would you do that from a Solidity contract? That's really not what's happening usually on Ethereum. So this is one of the examples. And if I'm sorry, I need to stop the screen. Yeah. if we're talking about real applications that are built and that are on the web, well, for example, LendOS, if we open LendOS, we are going to see that they have both the Ethereum and the Solana functionality. So when you connect wallet, you can connect either MetaMask or Phantom. And yeah, it's like from deploying a whole cross-chain application to adding like different small things, like allowing people to use their Ethereum or Solana assets.
Okay, got it. Thanks. My next question is going to be like, what from your point of view, or as you've been working from with the Neon EVM for this long, like what was the most significant, like probably technical challenge when you were designing these composability libraries and to translate these logics? Like how are you faced this? Whether ever like the situation when you thought like this is never going to work, we should abandon the projects and or pivot it to another stuff, like.
Honestly, I haven't been working at Neon EVM that long to know all this history of deciding to go this way or another way. So I cannot give you a very extensive answer, but I know that at the moment we are exploring so many possibilities. And I mean, even in our roadmap, you can see that we are looking forward and building all kinds of cross-chain abstractions that can help EVM developers adopt more Solana logic. And yeah, so not only so we don't have only composability feature that allows this cross-chain logic, but also we have the Solana Signer SDK, which as any SDK is just a kind of a plug-in thing. You add an SDK to a project and voila, you can go ahead and add this cross-chain functionality to an app.
Okay, got it. Do you see like a lot of EVM dApps transferring to Solana right now, like when Solana is on the high?
Yeah, actually.
And can you compare it? And can you compare it with like 2024 or like a year when Solana when everybody was telling that Solana is dead and everything is falling apart? Like, how does it change?
Well, it's just like you say, beginning 2024, no one's really want to move to Solana. I mean, why bother, right? It was too complex, too difficult, and it didn't really overweigh the benefits. So, and then I guess suddenly people started to see all those benefits, and with the gas fees and the parallel execution, I think at some point in 2024, people started adopting Solana more and more, and other projects saw the benefits in that. And recently in 2025 already, we saw a lot of big projects add Solana. For example, I saw Polymarket added Solana earlier this year, and this is a huge project with enormous user base. And I mean, this move isn't a fast move, so it definitely takes some time. And I think that they probably, I mean, I'm not sure, but they probably started working on it in 2024 when they saw the surge of interest in Solana. And
Agreed.
by 2025, they already integrated.
Got it. Got it. What, like, from your perspective, and basically, like, when you see the comments in your Discord or Telegram, what issues do usually developers face when trying to shift to Solana?
So these are these are basically questions that arise from the differences and the things that they don't expect to see in Solana and hence in Neon EVM. They keep coding as if it's all going to be exactly the same as in Ethereum sometimes. And then, for example, when they, a very simple example, when they hard code gas limit and it suddenly doesn't work and they get an error, that's kind of one of the signs that they see that it should work as they expect in Ethereum, but in reality it doesn't, and they get an error. And then when we start to unpack this error, we see that, okay, they hard-coded the gas limit because they assumed that the Neon EVM has similar gas units consumption as Ethereum and some other EVMs, and basically that's why they could do that. But I mean, still, Neon EVM is Solana's network extension, and it sometimes works more like Solana.
Like the quick question on my side is like, do you have all this like the most common questions? Do you have all them filled up with the documentation? So basically, if somebody is like coming to your Telegram group and asking questions, and the most common answer is like, "Have you ever read our documentation on what's your problem is?" or, or there's always like some unique problems that you like never faced and you have to deal with them.
Oh well, we do have an FAQ, obviously, and some of the questions are those that can be found in the documentation. And actually, I find it very fun when people say that a DevRel is just a talking documentation, because developers usually, instead of reading documentation, they ask the DevRel the same question that is already answered in the documentation. But I'm actually finding it very good because I have extra motivation to learn the documentation better. And I also,
Okay.
I also like actually talking to developers. I think they're great. So that's why it's not a problem for me. But I do get where you're coming from.
Do you have like this internal link for yourself with like internal doc for yourself with the links like this and that question linked to this documentation, this and that question linked to that documentation, you know, and everyone every time like it just pop ups, you just like give a link within like 5 seconds, you know, because you know this is the most common question like ever asked.
I think I remember where I can find these links, but that's actually a great thing to do.
Okay, so basically, from your experience right now, what are like the developers that are shifting from Ethereum to Solana? What are they most interested in building, like infra or like games, maybe like or DeFi infrastructure?
Here, I think that I'm not too familiar with the whole this cross-chain community to answer to a full extent, but I do have a sort of an educated guess from the people that I saw and interacted with, and they usually provide some DeFi use cases that they're interested in. They want to expand DeFi, and they are actually interested in, I would say, the ideological implications of DeFi. They want to make this decentralized world. They want to make financial inclusion, and basically, they're very interested in DeFi. But I also saw some interest in games, games on-chain games. But I think that's where ZK, for example, makes incredible advances at the moment, because they make this on-chain gaming experience so seamless, so that people can log into their chess game, chessboard online, and just connect to their wallets, on-chain wallets, and play for money.
Yeah, that's actually great. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So another my question is, did you have or like experience in people or dApps that were like saying, "Hey, okay, I was building on Solana and I didn't want it anymore. I want to Ethereum. Shift me back there." But I was already building on Solana. Like, was it
Shift me
like,
back.
yeah, put me back there, or like I want to be there, but I started on Solana. So like, was there
Mm.
like some unique cases on that basis?
I think so. Well, at least we do have this functionality that you can start from Solana program, connect the SDK, and then through the SDK connect to Ethereum. So yeah, I think there are such cases, and some of the developers from Solana community, I think, would see a point in connecting to EVM, at least for just expanding the user base and to connect to more chains. I mean, well, yeah, I can see a point in that, and I think, yeah.
Okay. What um, what has the feedback been like from the EVM developers who started to use like Neon? For example, do you have like I know that like any project or any startup, you're gathering lots of feedback and you are in like improving and building some tools on top based on that feedback for the dApps, because right, because that's your main customers. But like for like on in 2025 or like last 2 months, what was actually the feedback and what you see, like how does that improve Neon like in all?
Well, first, to give you an extensive answer, I would need to talk to our BD team. They definitely know, and the integration team, they definitely know so much more about this than me, because I usually interact with developers who are only starting to learn Neon EVM and by extension Solana as well, and mainly through the bootcamp. So I can tell you about the feedback that I got from the developers in the bootcamp, and that was really like two things. One, it was from the beginners that it was a bit too difficult to understand for a beginner, and that I needed to simplify the curriculum, and that's a great feedback. I should definitely do that. Um, and the next thing was just a very specific thing about the tokens, that the tokens are so different, and they just wanted to understand how they can use this ERC24 SPL token in reality, because it's just such a new and just, yeah, such a new phenomenon. So yeah.
Okay, got it. Got it. Um, how do you envision like your neon features or compatibility libraries evolving? It's like, it's like the question like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? But like this in terms of like compatibility libraries, like how do you envision they should evolve, or what's like the end vision of them? You know.
Well, I would really like to imagine uh, this continuous evolvement into an even more seamless experience, where you have abstracted everything and where you just need to click a couple of buttons and everything works, and you don't have to deal with a lot of errors. And I think that a lot of developers would support me that dealing with errors and debugging is the worst thing in the world. So I think that moving towards abstraction and moving towards removing these differences that result in errors when you start developing is a great opportunity for development, and yeah, a great thing to move forward to.
Okay, got it. Um, okay, so let's talk more about the bootcamp. Are there still people able to join it right now, or is it because I saw it started May 5th, May 7th, right?
Yes, it did. It started on May 7th, but you can still join. Don't worry. We had this rule that you had a lockup and you were lock in and not lockup. And you were supposed to submit the homework every week. But now, actually, due to our developers' feedback, we've introduced a graduation project option where you can look at the videos, watch the videos, and build a dApp, basically a dApp that uses this cross-chain logic and composability features, and just get away with it. And you can do that in groups, and basically it gives you freedom from homework, which I think everybody loves. And
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Everybody loves homework. That's obvious, you know.
yeah, and also it kind of allows you to join at any point and
Okay.
refer back to the videos and tutorials that you've already missed, and just build this graduation project to get up the leaderboard.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. So that's nice. So basically, like if there is some EVM developers or people that want to like after this workshop would like to start to work with Neon or to like just learn more about it, they can join the bootcamp right now and try to make it through. Right? Easy
Exactly.
as that.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
The
that's awesome actually.
the graduation project gives a huge point bonus, which can yeah, definitely beat the homeworks. So yeah.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. So
Yeah, do you want to
beyond
join?
I'm thinking in it. I'm still thinking in it, but I'm 50%. I'm 50% on like, but I'm still thinking. So beyond the technical, beyond the technical stuff, what does this bootcamp, like Neon EVM bootcamp, gives to developers in terms of like I don't know, understanding like the two different communities or maybe some other stuff they would want to know more when like in the bootcamp.
Differences between the communities, you mean between Ethereum communities and Solana communities?
Yeah,
I'm
that's true.
wondering what those differences are actually, because, well, let me
I'm
start.
like I'm thinking the Solana community is more like friendly and say like, hey guys, come. The Ethereum community can be like more rich because uh, they paid like a few months ago $50 for a gas fee, so like they should be like should have
Right.
lots of money, you know.
And walk with their noses in the air, and yeah.
Yeah, like like yeah, I'm a snob. I have money, you know.
Okay, I haven't encountered this kind of difference, but I think that actually, when you have this sort of project as Neon EVM, you have both Solana developers and EVM developers commingling in the same space, in the same Discord channels, and this could be a kind of a bridge between them, right?
Do you like during so like basically like your boot camp is already like for it's like 15 days or something. Do you encourage some like I don't know war between like EVM developers in your chats, like that they are arguing on something, not just like talking, but arguing like heavily and saying like Ethereum is better, like this bootcamp is bad. Like, do you have like some negative feedback on that?
No, we haven't had
Oh,
that
that's
yet. So
Okay.
I'm actually surprised to hear that. I should probably expect that if you're asking it. But no,
Yeah, you
no.
always have to respect that. That would be a surprise for you, but yeah, but that's what happens when you like giving them probably like when we had like our first bootcamp on Solana. So yeah, and we like shared our like the last feedback form. So yeah, there was some negative feedback on that, like not like constructive mostly, but just negative, you know. So yeah,
Well,
you
maybe
have to expect it. Yeah, you know.
maybe we're going to have that in the forum, but we don't have that yet in the community. The communication is very friendly, and people are actually helping each other with the tokens on the DevNet and just answering each other's questions. So I don't even have to answer all those questions myself, because they just go ahead and answer if they know the reply, if they know the answer.
Got it. So about the tokens, you mentioned that you educate devs on like different concept token standards, right? Like, could you explain more on how do you tell like developers, CVM developers, on about the different token standards and the difference between like the SPL tokens and your C20 tokens and like all this stuff?
Yeah. We all know that Ethereum has a lot of token standards, and ERC20 is the most popular one, the most used one, and Solana basically has the SPL tokens and basically one factory to deploy them. So when we compare the two token standards, ERC20 versus SPL tokens, we need to consider that they have a very different logic, not only with regards of like the tokens, but also with regards to the accounts and balances and data storage. So SPL tokens, they require explicit management of multiple token-specific accounts. So each user interacting with a particular token needs their own dedicated token account, ATA or an associated token account, and token transfers involve specifying not just sender like we do in Ethereum, where we specify the message sender and receiver in a transfer or transfer from to function, but also the precise token accounts involved in this transfer. So this distinction touches upon many different topics at the same time, because it just involves so many differences and so many discrepancies between the two systems. And on Solana, everything is kind of connected to accounts. And when you think of tokens, you also have to think of accounts. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot. I said it's still hard for me to understand, but yeah, but your explanation really helps. So in terms of broader Solana ecosystem, how does like the bootcamp helps the developers that trying to shift like or maybe trying to move fully on Solana, right? How
Yeah.
does it if how or if or does it help to contribute more to the broader Solana ecosystem, like after switching from Ethereum to Solana?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Kind of like when you learn Neon EVM, do you actually learn Solana? And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
can you complete this move? And I say yes, because when we learn these composability feature, these libraries, we go into the theory and we uh, unpack what's going on in the libraries, and we unpack Solana logic. So it's not only about Neon EVM, it's also about Solana. And we show how, well, the things that I showed you before, actually, when I showed you the code, we open the libraries and we see what Solana needs us to do in order to call its programs. So yeah.
Okay. Got it. So basically after the bootcamp, they would like the devs would be able to do more actually.
Yeah, and we kind of see this bootcamp as a preparation for
Hmm.
Solana hackathons and Solana bootcamps. So after this bootcamp, I think that they're going to be able to join these big Solana competitions and bootcamps
Oh
and
no no
be
no
able
no
to
no no.
compete.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they don't. They don't. Like
No, no.
Solana hackathons is more about like the startup. You know how this works, where you will get money from, like who are your customers. Ethereum hackathons is more like the classic one. You know, like solve this, or you have this problem. How can you solve this in super unique ways? You know, like it's just different kinds. But maybe with the knowledge from Ethereum, they could onboard to Solana, and they still have to learn like go-to-market strategies and and other non technical stuff. But that's actually a good time to get a team. You know, like one developer
Exactly.
is going to going to technical boot camps and trying to learn Solana and how to move your project or like your idea from Ethereum to Solana, and you can onboard the other part of the teams that are learning like go-to-market strategies and biz development, for example.
Exactly,
You know,
yes. Plus, we actually talked about expanding our marketing help to developers and
oh, for
teaching
real?
them. Yeah, well, not like we're gonna do marketing for them. Well, we don't have
Okay.
time, but we are gonna provide them with some materials that are gonna help them learn these things as we teach them the technical stuff.
Yeah,
This is yeah.
that's actually a great point. You know, like so you probably like the guy would probably want to do marketing himself, but he still has to know how to do it. You know, like at least some concepts and basics to understand how you should work this or how you prepare your project in a Solana ecosystem. Because basically the main problem with the developers is that when they have an idea, they think that this idea is needed for everyone and everybody should use will use your project. But basically it's not more, it's more like developers for developers and developers for users. And that's where you need uh, complete strangers or like a team that knows how to do marketing and how to explain your projects in like two sentences, you know, that people just should understand it. Yeah. So yeah.
I actually find this very helpful. Could you maybe give both our team and the boot campers advice on how to get better at that? I mean, to our team on how to prepare our developers, our boot campers for these demanding businessy Solana hackathons, and for the boot campers, what they need to do themselves to prepare for that.
So from our basically from our experience, it's super hard to be like one man orchestra. You know, like when you are trying to build and trying to market and trying to onboard people and trying to sell your project to VCs, and you have to do all on your own. It's super hard. So you have to basically what we always say to our startups, that you have to find at least a co-founder that will share your burden, but there will be like one CEO, like CTO, right? That the guy who's going to build, and there will be one like CEO or talking head, as we say, like the guy is that is going to sell. So basically, because the guy that is going to sell the project or sell your startup or sell your idea, he's going to come with some feedback from the community, from the people, and say, hey, we should pivot, we should change all our basic our like pain roadmap, because the features we are trying to implement in our project are not useful. We need to change it for the people to use it, because we are trying to onboard 100 of our people. But if there is only one developer and he's trying to do all the stuff, it's going to be hard for him, because he's basically he thinks that his project is like super great, and people that are giving feedback knows nothing, like Jon Snow. Yeah. So
Yeah.
That's the thing. So, do you want to know if I know that there is lots of developers are like lonely wolves, and they would like just to build and code, but you still need to have like this partner who is going to sell a project and see like the feedback from the community and to see if you like do you have a market fit in this market, or maybe you are ahead of your time, or maybe you are already like lost in this and this is not the trend anymore and nobody will invest in so there should be at least, I'm saying, like with a minimal average, at least two people. Like one is selling, one is watching for the market, one is taking feedback, and the other one is a technical one that is building and know what he's doing and know how this works, like under the hood. Yeah.
This is amazing advice, and it gives me a couple of ideas for how we can expand our bootcamp. I'm not gonna spoil, so I'll keep those to myself. But thank you so much for this feedback and for
Yeah, no,
the
it's
advice.
actually it always like that, like we've held already like three boot camps already, I guess, and yeah, and we always learn, like what we
Yeah.
should do better, what we should change, it's um like my vision is that we should shorten it and make more information, but from my learning team, the vision is that it's always getting longer, like in time, because we have to give more information. They don't know, they know how to do the Solana, but they don't know how to do the like front end, and everybody
Oh,
basically they don't see what's going on, like what's happening with their project, and this is the problem. So we should give like one more week with the front end, and like yeah, we're not shortening it, right? Like so like that's what happening. Okay, again, that's the problem, But
yeah.
yeah, different regions. There's always like good camps are super great stuff to give more information. Like everybody that is like hosting the bootcamp wants to give more precise experience information to the developers, so they don't do lots of mistakes and it doesn't take lots of time for them to to make their project or to like to move their project, etc., etc. But yeah, but there is still I think still should be a balance where you like not over giving them the information, like when they are like thinking that this is too much for them and they can take it, and this is not worth like the five grand or like laptop or anything, so just okay, I'm out of here,
Yeah.
yeah. So you
True.
have to keep them in, like they need to have like this interest in what they are like still doing, and that's the hard stuff, but like the host in the bootcamp, you still always learn from the feedback from the people, from like every session you are hosting, like everything is a learning stuff,
Exactly. Yes. And every video that I make, I think about it, what I've done, uh, and, and yeah,
yeah,
try
yeah.
to improve. And basically, yeah, it's such a shame that the first video has to be the worst one, but
Well,
it's yeah, the way it
but you
happens.
can but at least you can like get back to it and see like how much you improved from the first one till for example the last one, like you see your pass, and that's a great stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. A few last questions, because we are more than an hour in our like workshop, and this is great and I like it, for sure, but like few last questions and I'll let you go. Like one of the last is, what's the team's grand vision for the Neon EVM? What do you expect from the market, and do you expect to onboard like most of Ethereum projects to Solana? And what will you do when those projects will when everybody will move to Solana and nobody will live like on Ethereum? What will you do then?
When everybody moves to Solana,
Yeah, yeah, I know that. It's hypothetical. It's not like everybody will do that. Like, yeah. So, but still.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like an interesting cyberpunk movie where
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
moved to Solana, and yeah, we are flying our jets and paying with Phantom Wallet everywhere. Um, so we do have a roadmap for this year that is going to make this abstraction of Solana difficulties even better. I mean, the we are going to move to a more seamless experience, and there is going to be the extended composability and solving of the 64 account limit on our side. And also in Q4, there is going to be expansion to Tracer API in production and native sponsored transactions for dApps. Also, we're going to have a Rust version of the proxy. So these are the things that you can find in the Neon EVM roadmap for 2025. And these are basically the big things to look out for. And I think that we are not only planning to move all the EVM developers to Solana, but also help Solana developers. And these are the plans that are still in motion and that are not specified in the roadmap, but I think that provide a great vision for what's going on at Neon and what to expect going forward. So Neon EVM is not only for EVM developers who want to move to Solana, but also for Solana developers who want a better Solana experience. And this is all I can say
Okay.
on the question.
Well, yeah, that's now that was interesting. Like that's like I was like, okay, that's nice. Okay, I'm not gonna ask questions, but for people that are watching this, please subscribe to Neon EVM Twitter. Please join their Discord and Telegram groups. If you and check their announcement, because I think this year is going to be like great for Neon, and there will be lots of great announcements. You want to hear or you want to read it. Um, so another question, like from your experience, what's the most common misconception for the EVM developers, about Solana? How do you think? Why do they don't want to like move from Ethereum to Solana? If like they say like, hey, not Solana, I'm not going there because there is some more.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is actually the uh, well, obviously the architectural differences and the complexity is one of the factors that scares EVM developers away. But also there are some restrictions that EVM developers face with when they start looking at Solana. And for example, for complex dApps, that's this 64 account limit restriction, and it just breaks complex dApps. And if you move to Solana, you are going to have to optimize your transactions, your operations, and it's going to be a whole new painful world for them basically if they've already built a complex dApp and they want to move it to Solana. And so I think that's yeah, one of the factors. Probably if they started building from Solana in the first place, they wouldn't have this problem, and they would just adopt all the Solana specificities and approaches from the very beginning, and everything would be optimized, so they wouldn't be afraid of breaking their dApps. And yeah, in this way, it would be a better experience. But yeah, going from EVM, those are the main things I think they consider.
Yeah. And my last question would be, as the like, for example, as a Solana maximalist, I don't know if there is like if those people exist, but
Optimist.
still optimist, a lot of optimist. For example, I'm talking to my friend who is building something on Ethereum, like Project Dev or something like that, and I'm uh, I'm telling him to switch to Solana, and like he's not well, he doesn't want this to do right now, but he's like interested on doing that. And I'm explaining to him about the Neon, and this is like a one-click solution to move from Ethereum to Solana. Where should he start? Like, what's like the starting point to do this stuff?
Well, the starting point would be in the landing page of the documentation.
Okay.
It basically shows you how to deploy, how to what to do to start deploying on Neon EVM. And I think that documentation is always a very good starting point for anything. But if, in case it's one of the developers who prefers to ask questions rather than read documentation, then asking is always an option as well. So, yeah, just reach out and ask, and
So,
we are gonna
so
show you everything.
yeah, so basically, the starting point will be like Neon EVM org site, right? Website, and there will be like all the links to start building, and technical docs.
Exactly. Yes.
Got it, got it. That's what I'm going to share with them when I'll meet them on
Wow. Perfect.
On Ethereum hackathon
Oh,
when
really?
I'm planning to go.
Which one, by the way?
Spice everywhere. So yeah, the like after our hackathon, after Kumekathon, there is like a Ukrainian blockchain week is starting from like the in the 10th of June, like 11th. Like we have site events, and during the time there are going to be like some Ethereum hackathon in Kiev. Also, it's an offline event for Ethereum developers, and that's where we can go and say, hey. If you're building some nice stuff on Ethereum, come to Solana. We have a solution for you. You know.
I see. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that could work. That could work, I think.
You're gonna mess with their minds.
I mean, why not? Solana has like cheap fees, so like it has to
I
work. I
I know,
think.
right?
Okay. Okay. I think that's a wrap up. Okay, sorry. Too much talks. That's a wrap up.
Yeah.
Big thanks to Jules for like moving us, walking us through the Neon EVM, and that sounds really doable. And I think this should work, and it will work for the bootcamp participants and for everybody that wants to join the bootcamp. You are not late for the party. You can still join. So yeah, don't hesitate. Just do we have a link for a bootcamp right now so we can share like
Yeah,
in Twitter or
absolutely. Join through the um,
you
yeah,
can
the
share it in the
website
private chat
is.
here, and then I
Uh,
will.
Wait a sec. Mm,
Oh, neon. I found the yeah
Oh, you
yeah yeah.
found
I got
it.
it.
Good.
Yeah, yeah, I found it. All good, all good. It's on the website, so yeah, you're doing pretty good job with like updating the website. So like this is great. You can find all the information basically there.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
this is awesome actually. Yeah, so I'm gonna share it in our Twitter chat. Yeah, so if you want to join the Neon Bootcamp, don't hesitate. Please join. If you have friends that are building on Ethereum and you want them to move to Solana, you know where to get started. If you enjoyed today's sessions, don't forget to follow Neon EVM and Jules on Twitter for updates, resources, and maybe some great insights. Who knows? If you're Also, if you are building something on Ethereum, DMs, I think Jules DMs and Neon's DMs are open. You can join their Discord or send them DM on Twitter. Just let's keep in touch with them and for you to know what's going on. And yeah, thank you, Jules, for spending this time with us on the Bitcoin Pizza Day. And like, remember, next time you eat pizza, ask yourself, what's the blockchain cost of this slice? You know.
Good one.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Thank you
eat
so
your pizza,
much.
guys. Eat your pizza, guys. Drink it out or what you're drinking there. Jules, thank you for this stream. It was really interesting. It was really
Thank
beautiful. I
you.
think we will have some. We will have a recording. So guys, if you have friends that you want to show it, don't hesitate. The recording will be on our Twitter page. Yeah. And thank you for listening. Have a nice day and bye bye.
Thank you. I had a great time. Bye.
Bye.